This summer, I did research triple negative breast cancer, and I didn't really, want to land there. I didn't, apply places that with a desire to work on breast cancer, but after my time at Lewis and Clark, I really want to venture back home to Phoenix, Arizona, and look at the opportunities that I can do with my degree over there. And I started putting feelers out there to different companies that had research labs, and I ended up working at the Translational Genomics Research Institute, which is a nonprofit organization in Phoenix, Arizona. And I just happened to fall in a lab where the PI worked with triple negative breast cancer and how different genetic mutations cause those cells to metastasize really aggressively, and it was really just a great experience. I was very lucky to get that opportunity. Breast cancer cells, some of the mutations that they have are on their hormone receptors, and that includes like estrogen receptors, but these triple negative breast cancer cells are negative in all three of those different hormone receptors. And hormone receptors, which are little proteins on cell membranes, are a great way to treat breast cancer, but since these cells don't express any of these receptors, it's harder to fight this type of cancer. So looking at different genetic mutations within the cancer might help with finding a cure for it. My biggest takeaway from this summer and working in a research lab is that the lab is very much like a sport, a team sport. No one person can really make a large scientific discovery these days, and you have to rely on different people to do different tasks in the lab. So for example, someone might be working with the cells, while another person might be keeping up with the microscopes and different technology, and you might even have statisticians or bioinformatic people to look at different databases. And I really felt like I was part of a baseball team where you have pitchers trying to get outs, where on the other hand the hitters aren't trying to get out and they're just trying to put the barrel on the ball. And I really enjoyed not only the work, but the research environment and how you could really rely on other people to do different jobs that you're not trained to do. This past summer, cancer research was super cool. It's very difficult to do because everybody's cancer is a little different, but other research labs at the institute I worked at focused on drug development, so using different organic molecules to see how they could combat different difficult diseases. And one of my buddies worked there this past summer and he really enjoyed it. So I think maybe diving into that type of research. I actually am applying for PhD programs back home as well, and the labs that have really interested me had to do with drug development or cancer research overall. So it is really difficult to keep up with the academics, especially if you have a science major, as well as succeed at a varsity sport here. And I would say that choosing Lewis and Clark was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. I was looking at other schools in the conference, but one thing that really stood out to me is that Coach Kozdurka really focused on succeeding at academics first and succeeding at becoming a better person, and then baseball comes second to those two things. So it was really nice to have that sort of balance between school and baseball. Now, it wasn't easy. I had to spend a lot of times doing extra studying to get a good grade, or making sure an experiment went right. But at the end of the day, choosing something that I really enjoyed doing was amazing. It made the time fly by, and baseball was a great way to get away from school, so that balance worked out perfectly.